Hello my beautiful gorgeous babes out there, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bree and I am just a crazy lover of makeup, fashion, and all that fun glittery stuff. So if those are things you're into, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family we have here. But anyways, in today's video I'm going to be ranking my recent palette purchases. I do this every couple months and come back and give you my final thoughts on palettes I've reviewed on my channel, as well as palettes I may have purchased on my own that I didn't actually review, and let you know what I think and just give you my final thoughts. So if you are interested in seeing all of that, then keep on watching. All right, loves, welcome. I hope you guys are well. I am so hot right now. I was sitting outside on my patio and this Texas heat is something else. I was doing a wear test check-in. I am testing out the Estee Lauder sheer makeup that they just came out with, and I will probably have that video up before this, so I'll link it below. I'll put it up in the corner in case you're interested in seeing how this ended up working out for me. And I also did film this look with the Beauty Bay Wilderness palette, which that will probably be up before this video as well. I'll link it below. I'll put it up in the corner in case you want to know how I did this makeup. But anyways, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real green, like earrings, outfit, eyes, my drink. I don't mind my nails. I need to get them done. I'm probably going to get them done tomorrow. It's Saturday. It's just a low-key day. I don't really feel like going anywhere. But tomorrow, for sure, I will get my nails done. You'll see. They'll look better than this one day. Anyways, so I have 20 palettes here to rank. And how I do my ranking is I base it on a bunch of different factors. Either color story, quality, versatility, how often I would actually see myself using the palette, and how much I really gravitate to the palette. So all these different factors come in. So it's not necessarily I'm ranking it low because the quality is bad. Nothing like that. And of course, if any of these palettes are low on my ranking, please don't get offended if they're your favorite palette. We all have different, preferences and things that we like when it comes to makeup, and sometimes my top makeup might be your worst makeup, and that's just basically because we have different preferences, and that is okay. But anyways, I just wanted to say that before I dive in so no one gets your feelings hurt. Anyways, so number 20 on the ranking. At the bottom, it's not a bad palette, but it's the CHILLIN in Chicago palette. I didn't film with this because it's pretty old. This is from BH Cosmetics, and I just wanted to like round out my travel series collection from BH Cosmetics. Yeah, I do that sometimes, okay? And it's okay. It is a very neutral, warm leaning palette. It has some pinks in it, but it's lower because it's neutral. I'm like a colorful lover. Like you can see, I like to do bold, colorful makeup, but every now and then I like to dabble into neutrals. Also, I don't think that this is the best quality from BH Cosmetics. It's like the good quality, but I feel like all their recent palettes are like even better than this. The next one, and this is a great palette. The quality is phenomenal. It's nothing wrong with the quality. It's just more in terms of the versatility, how often I would actually reach for this, and like what I could do with the palette. And this is the Rebel Honey palette from Juvia's place. It's a warm tone mustardy palette, and I like these shades, but typically I'll pull those shades from a bigger palette that has a bunch of different colors. So I don't know how often I would actually pull this in to use as an accent palette, or how often I would actually use this by itself, because it's missing shades that I would need to do a completed look based on like how I do my makeup. I like to have like a light shade for the inner corner. I don't know. And the other thing is these two shades are just too similar. One is just like a slightly deeper version, and to have only 4 shadows in a palette and have 2 basically be duping each other, because once you put it on the eyes, they're just gonna look the same. Like people aren't really gonna know that these are 2 different shadows that you had put on either eye, at least in my opinion. But I do think the quality is really, really nice. And if you like this color story, if you want like these shades added to your collection, I think that this is a really good option. The next one in the ranking is this one right here, the Rebels Gray palette. I think this is really cute. I love a good gray palette because I like my cool tones, but of course, I'm not gonna reach for this by itself. And I don't know how often I'd pull it to another palette unless I'm really looking for some grays. Most of my palettes that I'm doing like a cool tone look usually have grays in it. So I don't know how often I would really use this palette. And I wish like maybe there was a little bit more depth. I wish that these two shades were a little bit more different. They're just slightly different silvers. That's just like my opinion. Now I feel like this is a great accent palette with other palettes. I think the quality is amazing. It's just not something I'm gonna see myself using often. Then number 17. And this is also a really good palette. The quality is phenomenal. I love the brand. But this is the Nabla Cutie palette in the Analogue version. Why did I say it like that? But this is a more warmer tone, chocolatey, neutral little mini palette. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. I like the variation. I feel like these are a little similar, but I think the quality is really good in this palette. It just more of a neutral color story, and I'm just not going to use it as much as I would a more colorful palette. And the next one for number 16, I feel is higher because of the color story. It's not as good as the Nabla formula, but it's still a really good formulated palette. And this is the Emerald palette from BH Cosmetics. This is part of their Gemstone series, and I think the quality is phenomenal. I think that this is the excellent BH Cosmetics formula, and I just love this color story. I love my greens. That's what I live for. The only thing I wish was there's more variation between these two, and maybe take out that pressed glitter, because I don't know how often I would really pair that with the other shades in here, but I do love me some greens, and I do think the formula is really good in this. Then the next one, and it's not as versatile, it's pretty limiting, but I just think the metallics in here are so beautiful. This is the Rebel Mints palette, and I love minty shades. They just have my heart, and these two metallics in here are just stunning. Like, oh, so stunning. They have the most beautiful appearance on the eyes. This one has like a little greeny shift to it. So beautiful. Oh, they both make beautiful inner corner highlights. And then mattes in here for being pastels are very pigmented. I would definitely pull this along with other palettes. I would definitely reach for this palette if I'm looking for these specific colors, because the quality is great. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes are pigmented. This is such a cute little quad. I love it. Okay, so going on to number 14 in the ranking is the Rebel Army palette, because your girl is all about her greens. If you can't tell by now, I really love green. It's my favorite color. And these were excellent green dark mattes, and the metallics are beautiful. I love this. I would definitely pull this in with other palettes if I needed some dark greens or like travel with this, and the quality is just so good. Now going on to another mini palette. Now, like I've said before in the past, mini palettes usually are lower because they're just more limited shades, and they're usually gonna have to be pulled in with other palettes in terms of what I like and how I like creating my looks. But it's the Nabla Cutie palette in Midnight, and so beautiful. Blues. If I'm not wearing green, I'm gonna go for a blue look. Blue and green are like at the top for what eyeshadows I like to wear on my eyes in terms of color, and the formula is beautiful on this. This is just such a good formulated palette. Nabla did such a good job. It has the latex mattes, which is that cream to powder formula. This deep blue is beautiful, and the metallics, stunning. I love this little pastel shade, and these just, this row, so beautiful. This is a dual chrome. This is a beautiful sparkly sapphire shade, and I just get excited when I look at this. Like, I was like, if I want to do a blue look, I would totally pull this, and this is complete. Like, I could do a complete look with this palette. I wouldn't have to pull anything else. I could use this alone, and I love when a mini palette can stand alone on its own and make you look flawless. Now going on to palette number, are we on 12? This is the Nabla Secrets palette, and this is a neutral palette with some like muted colors in here. Great quality. This is just a little lower because it's more neutral with a pop of a few muted shades. But the mattes are really nice. The shimmers are beautiful. And I like this. And you know, of course, I love Nabla's formula. I like the look that I was able to create with this. I like that I could go a little bit more jewel tone, a little bit more neutral. I feel like I could do a bunch of different stuff with this. I feel like it's pretty versatile for a more neutral leaning palette. Then going on to one that I liked even more because of the color story. I think Nabla has a better formula, but this is the Nomad America's Parks palette. I love this packaging. I love their theming. I love the whole travel thing behind Nomad Cosmetics. It's a big mirror, and here are the shades in here. These shades just speak to me more. They're not as muted as the one in the Nabla palette. They have more pops of like vibrancy in here. I think the metallics are beautiful. Now the mattes are that more buildable formula. They're not as like high bam pigment as like other shadows I like working with, but they can be built up, and I appreciate a buildable matte. I love it just as much as a pigmented matte, and it's just a beautiful little mixture of colors, and I feel like you could go a lot of different directions with this. Then going on to Give Me Glow. This is what? Are we on number 10? So this is right in the middle. This is the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. And of course, this is an all pastel palette. I don't think I could do a lot with this alone. I would probably pull in other palettes because I like a very more deeper look, like a deeper outer corner. But these pastels are beautiful. They're very pigmented. I feel like they would work even if you had a deeper skin tone because they have so much pigment. Now maybe you might need to use like a lighter base to it, but damn, the pigment is good on this. And the shimmers, like the metallics, are stunning. Like, Give Me Glow has a stunning metallic formula. Like, do you see that? And I'll show you, like, super pigmented, super beautiful. Like, this is like my go-to pastel palette. If I'm looking for pastels in my collection, this is what I'm gonna go for. And I love doing these kind of looks during the springtime, doing a more soft, ethereal look, and I would pull this every time. Now, another one that I have that has pastels in it, but I ranked it higher because of the versatility and the quality is beautiful. This is the Rococo palette from Musee Beauty. This is a pastel springy little dream. I did do a review on this one and a lot of the palettes actually that I'm showing you today, so I'll link that below. But this has neutrals in it. It has depth to it. So if you want to deepen up the look, you don't only have to stick with pastels. So there's options in this one. I like that they mix some neutrals. I like that they gave you some deepening shades. And the pastels are also really pigmented and super blendable. And I just really like this. I love the theming of this brand as well. The whole like arts theme. I just love it. The packaging. I love that they give you like history about art, and you can learn at the same time when you're putting on your makeup. So I'm all about that. Then the next one, this is from Melt Cosmetics, and this is the She's in Parties palette. I never filmed the video on this because I picked it up so late, and I picked it up when they were doing a sale, and I was like, I just want to add this to my collection because I love Melt overall as a brand. I feel like they make really good eyeshadows when they choose to. Not all palettes are amazing from Melt, but this one was the amazing, excellent quality from Melt. Like, the mattes in here are so pigmented, but you can blend, you can build, you can do so much with. I love this little like cool tone, mauve-y, burgundy, leaning purple color story. The only reason why this is not even higher is because I can only really stick in one color family with this look unless I pull in other palettes. But on its own, I think I could create beautiful looks. And I'm just blown away by the quality. The quality is really the reason why it is so high up there. I think that this is one of the best palettes from Melt besides their Murete palette. Whew, the quality is banging on that. Then the next palette, and I think this is number 8, and I'm really surprised to have a palette from Colourpop this high up there, but this is the Lush Life palette from Colourpop. I think this is the best release from Colourpop this year. Like, this whole collection they came out with, number 1, packaging, execution, the promo photos, and the color story. And it has been so long since I've been excited from a release from Colourpop, because they just come out with so much makeup. It's so overwhelming, and they just never really do it for me. Like, there's always something missing from the whole palette or theming or something. It just never speaks to me. When I saw this, it spoke to my Hawaiian heart, my love for tropical prints and tropical vibes, and I just think the color story is killer on this. That's why it's so high, and it's the good formula from Colourpop. They have a good consistent formula, especially for the price, but they have so many deep colorful mattes in here, and they rarely do deep colorful mattes in their palette. They normally go in with like neutrals and has more mid-tone, more light mattes when it comes to color, but they gave me the deep green, the deep blue, this like purpley shade right here. The metallics are popping, and I like the mix with like these terracotta shades. I just think you could also do so many looks with this, and this is like on the status of the Good Sport palette for me, and the Good Sport palette is probably like my #1 palette from Colourpop. Now going on to a brand that I've just tried this year, and whew, it's stunning. This is the Midas Perception palette. I am absolutely blown away by the quality of the formula. They're a small indie brand. I feel like they're a pretty affordable brand, and I was just, whew. The pigmentation on these mattes are insane. This is made by I think it's an Afro-Latina owned company, so they definitely make sure they have shadows that will work on all skin tones. And I love that there's so many deep shades in here, but there's like these neon poppy shades in here. They have some dual chromes. The metallics are beautiful. You got a black shade to deepen up the look, and you could just go all different directions with this. And this was the collaboration with the Basic Bee. She did a phenomenal job, and I feel like this just didn't get enough hype, and it is so good. It is so pigmented. And the next one, which is #5 on the list, this is pretty high, and this is also a new brand to me. This is the Alien Cosmetics Strawberry Milkshake palette. Oh, this is so good. Matte, pigmented, but it just, the color story is so inspiring when I look at this, and that's why it's like pretty high up there, because it's just so unique, and it's hard to make a unique palette these days because there's just so many brands, there's so many releases, there's so many options, and it's just inevitable that brands are going to kind of dupe one another and start having similar palettes. I love the like juicy vibes that I get from this, the bright neon green, the bright pink, the two deep mattes in here were perfect. The metallics are super like sparkly, a little bit more on the chunky or textured side, but I don't mind that because I don't really suffer from like textured lids or anything. And I feel inspired every time I look at this. And I did do a like bold summery look with just the mattes and a like pop of shimmer in the inner corner, basically what I have on my eyes today. And I was impressed. I was really impressed with this. Then the next one, and this is probably going to be like my best rainbow palette. And I had another one that was my best rainbow palette. Maybe it was the Cake palette from Glamlite, but this topped it. This is the Impressionism palette from Musee. It's like a standard rainbow palette with some neutrals mixed in, but the quality of the mattes are superb, phenomenal, beautiful, gorgeous, pigmented, blendable. Like, it has all the colorful mattes that I would need for like crease shades, and I was blown away. And this is the first palette that Musee came out with, and they killed it on their first release. Like, they came in swinging. They were ready to impress, and something about these mattes are so velvety, so creamy and pigmented. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tried Musee, you need to. Like, look at that. And they just go on the lid so nice, so effortlessly. It just blends. So if I'm looking for like a standard colorful palette and I need some standard colorful mattes, I would go for this every time. Now going on, whew, I'm a little winded. I'm going through a lot here. Is the Break the Rules palette. And this is an all shimmer palette full of like dual chromes and multi-chromes in it. But dual chromes, multi-chromes, metallics have my heart. And that's why it's so high up there for me. Now, other people would be like, I can't use an all shimmer palette. I would probably rank that lower because it has no mattes. I don't care. I can pull mattes from somewhere else. These metallics are stunning. This is an affordable brand. It's Bell Cosmetics. I think it's based out of Puerto Rico. They're just a teeny little indie brand, and they came out with a stunning eyeshadow formula. Like, this is so beautiful. I did use this in a video, and I think I showed you guys some swatches in there, but my heart flutters every time I look at these. Like, and the palette is super affordable. The pigmentation, the shine. If you're looking for a beautiful dual chrome formula in one palette where you can just pull this along with your mattes, get this. Now, number 2. The Kaleidos Flower Punk palette. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be, because Kaleidos is like my favorite brand, favorite eyeshadow formula, favorite packaging, favorite collections come out from them. Packaging, top notch, beautiful. I love that they're just so creative with their palettes. It comes off. I love the theming, and this is also a very unique color combination. I have never seen someone mix like grungies and pastels together in a palette and make it look so good. Because when you look at it, you're like, wait, that looks like a completely separate palette. This is completely separate. Like, most people would be like, these don't go together. But they were able to make this go together. They were able to make these shadows coexist. So beautiful. Mattes are blendable, pigmented. I love the grunge. I love the pastels. It has types of shadows that I love all mixed together. And this Sun Gazer shade, scrumptious. This is a dual chrome, the stained glass, these minty shades. I played with this a lot. I was able to create totally different looks with this palette. Did do a review if you want to see me play with this, but Kaleidos is always at the top. Like, they never fail me when it comes to their eyeshadows or even their other products. I love everything I've ever tried from them. Then number 1, and this is probably a theme from all of my ranking, I have a heart for colorful, bigger palettes that have a variety of shades that I love to wear. Like, my one go-to that I can travel with, and this is the Mikayla palette. She killed it. This is with Glamlite, and she made the best color story. She put every single shadow and type of color that I like to wear on my eyes in one palette and made it convenient for me. Like, what? Jewel tones, grungy, warm, bright, pastels. Everything is in here. Neutrals. Everything I would need. I could definitely travel with this palette and I would be set, because I could just do all different colors. So I feel like I just gravitate to larger palettes for that reason, because I feel like it's like an all-in-one palette for me. And Glamlite has a great formula. The mattes are great. The shimmers are beautiful. They're a really cool indie brand. They come out with really great releases, and they did such a beautiful collaboration with Mikayla. She did a great job, and I knew this was going to be number 1 when I saw it, and when I did my review and played with it, I was like, yeah, this is probably going to be like at the top of my ranking. I just knew it because it just had everything I need. The grunge, the jewel tones, the fabulousness. It just has everything. So that is why this is a number 1 on my palette ranking. Anyways, were you guys surprised by my ranking? Were you like, I was surprised she put that at the top, surprised she put that at the bottom? Or would you have like did this ranking differently, or anything? Any thoughts? How you doing? I love hearing from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy these kind of videos, please hit that subscribe button and join this little family we have here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I'll have all the palettes linked. I'll have videos of mine that I've done on any of these palettes in case you want to get more information. I will also have my contact information if you want to check out my other social media platforms. I'm on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle and Breezy_Beauty, and I'm on TikTok as Breezy_Beauty. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. And that was everything, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it, and I just hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and just sending you love and light. But until next time, bye guys.